Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing the Jyotisha commentary to the book of Dan Ariely, Misbelief. I have collected 8 quotes and will be giving my Jyotisha commentary to this. I hope even the quotes alone you will find interesting. They are all about Rahu and Ketu. Rahu is seeing things which are not there, and Ketu is not seeing things which are there, which is leading to mistakes and problems because we are overlooking something or ignoring. So let's start with the first one. Experiment they did. They find out with the farmers that before the harvest, they did the IQ test and they were 25% lower scores than after the harvest. When they were successful, they got the security, financial well-being, they got 1/4 better results, much better. So this is in the category of vicious circle. If you are poor and you have some problems, then it's even worse for you. Whilst for those who are in better conditions, they have more peace, so they can get even easier the results. And here we would say that this is all about Jupiter very much. This is what comes to my mind, because Jupiter is the Dana Karaka and also the Jnana Karaka, which is about knowledge, and the D Karaka, about intelligence. This is the main, we would say, the Karaka for D. And we have 4 planets, Sun, Jupiter, Rahu and Ketu, which are related to intelligence, but definitely Jupiter is the main one. Gets exalted, very nice sign for Jupiter is the Cancer. And this is natural 4th, when Lagna Lord is in the 4th. For example, in the chart of spirituality, D20, Vimshamsa, then we are into meditation, we have peaceful mind, and this is the perfect surrounding for the Jupiter. So if that is somehow shaken, if the stability is not there, if the inner peace is lacking because of stress, this usually is financial problems or marriage issues or disease or losing someone, then without that foundation, this Jupiter is thin and this has the big impact on our decisions making. In that fight and flight mode, we are usually having this tunnel vision and our decisions are not taking into account many things, and also the past and future is ignored. We have very thin awareness, and therefore these decisions are also much worse as if they could be. So this is all about Jupiter and Cancer. If you have any additional comments to these points, then please write them down under the video and the comment section, and I'm always loving to read your comments, so you are welcome to do this. Let's go to the second quote now. Here we can read, unable to control a stressful situation produces 3 deficits, motivational, cognitive and emotional. In other words, when we experience repeated stress that we cannot control, it makes us feel less inclined to take action and less able to figure out solutions. It makes us feel worse about all of it. For these reasons, learned helplessness has been linked to an increased risk of depression. So we have cognitive deficits, which is usually related to Lagna Lord, when connected to malefics like Rahu and Ketu is causing those issues. Emotional, we could say it's about Shubhapati. This is the psychological realm, and the motivational lack can be related to the Kemadroma Yoga. When we have no planets in 2nd and 12th or Kendra to the moon, we don't have that motivation, that fuel, and one can live like the Vedic text says, like a loafer, right? Like doing nothing, and This tamas state of being can be similar or can resemble the sattva, because there is no rajas in both of these stages, but there is a big difference between the tamas and sattva. Could also say that there is the shreya and preya in Upanishads. The shreya is the long-term happiness, and the preya is something more shallow for the today's sensual gratification. And Nicha, debilitated planets in Kendra, they are causing the stress. For example, in the Shamsa, especially in the fourth, they may be related to career life. In Rashi, it's overall stressful situation. And in the Navamsha, those jobs in Dushtana can also lead to bad health, and they are also stressful. So that would be the Jyotisha connection to this. Then we have very interesting things. It's said that when we are out of control, when we are in a stressful situation, then we are trying to see patterns which are not there. So we are more accustomed to or more tempted to believe in some kind of theories, or even astrology was mentioned there in that book. But there is also this theory from Viktor Frankl that if they are very hard challenging situation in life, and we see the meaning, we can define in our self what we want to do, and try to somehow understand our values and live with them, then it is giving us so much strength that we can survive very hard situation. On one hand, we have something negative, right? This is negative approach, that when there is stressful situation, we are creating some false patterns which are not there to regain some control. This is Rahu, right? But also, if there is hard, challenging situation, we try to understand, synthesize those single things to get the meaning of what's going on. If that synthesis would be right, meaningful, positive. So now it depends. Is it Rahu? Are those patterns false? Or are those synthesis, those understanding of what's going on in our life, if that is reflecting the reality? So, for example, with astrology, it also depends if you believe it reflects the reality. If yes, then this is more going into the Viktor Frankl position, where we are in challenging situation, are gathering or having exposure to the meaning, direction, and this is giving us so much stress because we can endure everything if we can find some cause or purpose or mission. And on the other hand, if we are holding to false patterns, because there can be, and they are many false type of random patterns, random connection, then this could means that we can be a victim of some trap, right? So this is my commentary that yes, this is the danger if we are creating the random patterns, but if we can have access to a metaphysical, valid, proper synthesis, then we should definitely try to use it and unify this in our consciousness. This can give us a big power, big strength, and with that we can go through everything. And the next quote is from Leo Tolstoy. I know that most men, not only those considered clever, but even those who are very clever and capable of understanding most difficult scientific, mathematical, or philosophic problems, can very seldom discern even the simplest and most obvious truth, if it be such as to oblige them to admit the falsity of conclusions they have formed, perhaps with much difficulty, conclusions of which they are proud, which they have taught to others, and on which they have built their lives. So this is the problem with attachment. If the knowledge is attached to our values, or we are doing something for a long time, we are teaching that to others, we are sticking to those values, and then we find out that there is some mistake in those conclusions, then it can be hard to change them. Therefore, one of the qualities of non-Brahmanas were non-attachment, when they could accept whatever is true without paying attention to the consequences, as seeing in a positive way. So exalted planets, the idealistic ones, and very strong Jupiter, very strong Venus, perhaps also, which is the planets of sacrifice, that would resonate this proper way of adjusting the new knowledge to the truth. And long term, it will always be beneficial for us, because if we are following some mistaken views, then it will always, we will pay somehow with waste of time or energy or resources, things like that. And this fixed mindset also is very much connected to the 10th house, if related to Rahu or Saturn or this Ariely grahas, and also the fixed sign, then it may be hard for us to change our azimuth, our direction. We can be stubborn and not flexible. Also, we see that this desire of 7th house, Libra, is a sign of debilitation of the sun. And in 7th house, also Jupiter is having 0 Dikbala. So this desire, therefore, in this ancient philosophy, were always somewhat challenging factor when it comes to not only having the theory of knowledge, but living by knowledge, because that is the real problem here with the attachment. Next quote is about doubts, and this, we could call it negative skepticism, as compared to autoimmune disease. It's said when an autoimmune condition becomes chronic, it can affect multiple systems and fundamentally impair our ability to function in the world. Chronic misbelief is similar. Our healthy instincts towards skepticism and independent thinking become overactive and turn against us in ways that are self-destructive and debilitating. So it's very interesting. In 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it said that this doubt, Shamshaya, is feature of intellect. So people who are doubtful are also intellectuals, right? And therefore we see that Rahu is one of the demand grahas. But it is positive, it's working for us when this Rahu is deployed by the Jupiter, if Jupiter is stronger. But when the Rahu is overcoming Jupiter, if the doubt is coming from some, we could say, chronic problem in our cognitive function, then it is like the autoimmune disease. So that is very important, that the Jupiter, that the core, which is also related to our synthesis of many, many aspects, and then being able to form a conclusion based on the also heuristics, but also the kind of intuition, because we never have complete knowledge, so we need to take some kind of risks. And if that Jupiter is weak or is, we could call it, overcome by Rahu, then it is then very hard to, the vision is gone, and the only thing which stays is the doubt. And as the Gita say, there is no happiness in this world or in the next for the doubting soul. The next quote is about the also kind of research for people who were saying that they had some visit or contact with the UFO, and they find out that these people have 3 main personality traits, and there was magical ideation, openness to absorbing, and perceptual aberration. And this is all again related to the negative Rahu and Ketu. The nodes can give you great skills if they are controlled. If they are going out of control without any sattvic dominance, then they can play havoc in your life, and they can destroy you. So you will also find that these signs, Aquarius and Scorpio, which are the homes for the nodes, are having a lot of poison. So there is a lot of poison in Scorpio and in the Aquarius. Therefore, Jupiter is showing the strong reason, the possibility to unify knowledge from many branches. Also being exposed to many experiences in life ability to connect this with theory and unify this in positive conclusion. Then we have this moon, which is also exposure to society. So also the moon is always balancing things. So if you have connection to family, to friends, then this will also somehow recalibrate your azimuth, your direction. So you will also find that people isolated, they can stick more easily to some kind of extreme views. And strong sun for the routine structure. This is also very important. So if these nodes are servant of the sattva, then they can make you trendsetter, then can give you that boldness, courage to make that one step farther where the discovery can wait for you. And in this way, you can somehow make that meta studies and conclude your research. Otherwise, with Rahu alone, without healthy Jupiter, without healthy Sattva, you will have some results, but you will not be able to unify all of them and bring the conclusion, because that power of ether is coming from Jupiter. And then the last interesting quotes, which reminds me the static chart analysis and the Dasha. It was saying that there is a personality traits and also personality states. So there is some fixed part of our lives and also something which are changing based on particular circumstances for some short time. So similarly in Vedic Astrology, we have those, we could call it the static position, how the machine is built, but then through the Dasha, various buttons will be pushed and various parts of the machine will start acting. So recently I had a chart, for example, where we had fourth lord in the 10th house giving the wealth from fourth house mothers. And the person was a lawyer because it's Jupiter and Mercury, which is giving such interesting things. But also what kind of law? It was patent law. So it was related very much to fourth house because it's also immovable property, and Mars is there, which is like assigning the patent or controlling that whole procedure. So Mars was connected to this through Uchanata Saturn, and also because of that Mars-Saturn yoga, it gave this person at the same time money from property. Therefore, the person was also getting finances from renting house for Airbnb. And then we can see how from one placement, so from something static, depending on the Dasha, completely different and independent from each other, events are coming into fore, are manifesting in one's life. And so therefore in your chart you may have good and more challenging parts, even related to that same area, like relationship, career life, or spirituality, education, children, and so on. And in various parts of life, this will be activated in its own way, depending which planet is dominating. That's it for today. I hope you got some value from it, either from these quotes alone or through my commentary. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It really helps to make it more visible on this channel. Join our Discord analytics family. You can find the link in the description. You would like to have your chart analyzed by me, the health, relationship, and career life with the timing advices and remedies, please hit me up with this email here and we can schedule the Zoom consultation for you, 60 or 90 minutes. And if you are still hungry, would like to see something more, please consider watching this one here.